Hi there Facebook, it's Kamal here with the puppy, and I thought I would do a quick live as I was going to do a little training session with her. So hopefully some people will join me at awkward time in the day, but you got, as I said, I'm doing lots of little tiny sessions with the puppy, so why not share them with you guys. So this session is going to be about free shaping, and free shaping is something that I like to do with my puppies to teach them to offer behaviour, to also, or get them to offer behaviour, or teach them to offer behaviour, and also teach them what a box clicker or a button clicker in this case, so I've got that in my pocket, what it means. So in this instance, any behaviour goes. And free shaping is a great way to teach your dog to work through frustration, teaching them how to offer behaviour, to build resilience, to work through things like, puppies that give up or aren't quite sure. And it's also a little bit of fun. So the item I've got has no real specific behaviour attached to it or inferred towards it. It's a pot of paint, and all I'm simply going to do is click her for any interaction that she has with it, okay? And let's just see what she offers. I'm going to keep the session relatively short. I've got in my pocket really high value treats. So what the first step I'm going to do is just charge her up or click her a couple of times and build up the association for the click or the button clicker. So for my dogs, this is different from a verbal clicker. It has a different meaning. It allows them to just offer behaviour and teaches them to be creative, or causes them to be creative, I should say. So first thing I'm going to do is just charge up the clicker. So it will be press the button. I'm going to put this on with my wrist. Makes it a lot easier to handle. Okay. Actually, I'll leave it on. It's fine. Okay. Good. So press the clicker, and within a split second, I'm feeding her. So how you create that association is by feeding very, very quickly. So the puppy then anticipates every time they hear that button, food's on its way. Now, ideally, what I'd like her to do is wander off or lose focus, so I can test if there's that association. I haven't used this with her before, so you're seeing it in its most raw capacity. So let's just click anything. Good. Okay, so I'm going to move on. There's enough in this association. I can just use it straight away. That's one of the things that I would do with my dogs. If you're not sure about clicker training, then I'd start first with building up that association, and then, good, well done. Then move on to using it in terms of training. Good. So there's enough of association there. You can see her starting to react when she hears the clicker. So what I'm going to do is see if she'll just wander off a bit. And see, she's just thinking about the food. Good. Okay, so you can see there's a recognition and anticipating the food. So for the purpose of this, I'm going to move it on. So the object I'm going to pick is something that I'm not going to probably use long term for my training. So it's an item that I wouldn't use in training generally and doesn't have an agenda. I don't have an intention for it. So other items I use, for example, like platforms, they're a little bit more specific of the behaviour that I want to train. So I'm just going to use this and see what she does. First thing is I'm going to engage with it to draw attention. Oh, what's this thing? Okay, I'm going to plop it on the floor. I'm using something heavy because in case she does step on it or jump on it, it's going to be sturdy and not put her off. Okay, so let's see what she does. Good. Oh, good cow. Nice. Let's see what else she does. Good. So she looked at it. And again, I'm not being too... Good. So she stepped around it. I'm not being too... Good. Nice. Specific about what I reward. Anything goes. Okay? Good. So she's chewing there. Let's see. Other than chewing. Good. I'm going to click the backing up on it. So she's trying to offer 2 feet on, which is what she's learnt previously. So, good. So I'm going to click her for going off it. Yeah, just to mix it up. Good. There you go. And I'm being very flippant about where I only force. I don't want to imply anything to the dog. This is just about her trying. Good, yeah. There you go. To offer me anything or offer something, yeah? So, she's quite intent on, good, on stepping on it. So I don't want to keep reinforcing that behaviour. Okay, I want to try and mix it up. So I've rewarded that a couple of times now. So I've got to try and be a little bit more. So she stepped off it and stepped around it. pouring it. My timing was slightly out there. Still going around it. Ideally, when I do this, I try not to click the same behaviour 2 times in a row. Good. She keeps reverting back to that one, so I'm going to see if I can change it or click something else. Sitting next to it. Nice, pouring it. It's very cute. The thing about free shaping is you've got to be quite quick, because she's obviously, as you can see, quite quick in her reaction. So all of the behaviours tend to gravitate or end up being stepping on it. So I want to withhold the click a little bit longer and see what happens. She's trying a little heart out. And getting a bit frustrated, which is a good thing for her to learn to work through and channel that into something that's a little bit more productive than vocalising. Good. So she turned her head towards it. That's nice going around it. Nice, going around it again. Quite like that because I can use that obviously. So I don't want to click that repeatedly too often. I do click it there twice on the trot, so I need to be a bit aware of that. I'm not necessarily creating a pattern. Because in this session, I'm just being very, very lenient with what I ask of her. So now she's focused back on the food. She's trying to figure out, how do I get this food off this guy? I just wait for a bit more. Good, so she looked towards it. I could possibly shape a nose target on it. We'll see what happens. I'm going to clip that. She's actually pulling the string on my trouser, which is quite cute. It's probably bad dog training, but it's quite endearing. So, and a retrieve or something is something I might need later on. So, there we go. Click that. Right, I'm going to tuck it away so we don't get drawn into clicking something else. So we get to focus back on the item. Nice, good girl, super. Good. Good, that's her default. As soon as she starts to engage with it, she wants to jump on it, which is what she's been shaped to do on other items. Good, so a little nose target there. She's thinking about offering. A tiny bit less. I've got one more click in, so let's see what she does. Good, and she's doing a little target there of it, so that was good. So nice place to end there. Good girl, well done. Good girl. That bit. Good girl. Good. So nice place to end there. And as I said, in those sessions when you're free shaping, okay, that'll do, well done. Good girl, that was really clever. There is no specific agenda. So the purpose of this is to first teach your dogs to offer. And sometimes dogs, let me get your toy. Can we get your toys? 1 second. You can have these now. Got your these, there you go. Sometimes what happens when you start shaping, your dogs can get a little bit stuck. Oh, good girl, switching for toys. Oh, let's send them to play, that's good. So this is really good for her because sometimes when you bring food in the equation, she gets stuck and she doesn't want to take her toys, which is something ongoing that I'm working on. It depends on the value of the food. That actually was quite high value food, so it's good that she switched. Switch, yeah, good girl, nice. So had an alternate between toys. Whoa, good. Good girl. Hit you. Switch. Yeah, nice one. Switch. Yeah. So she's carrying it, which is great. That's brilliant. Good. Good girl. I quite like it when they start to carry it because it shows that I'm beginning to create the association of carrying it towards me, so I can move that on eventually. Oh, yeah. Switch. Yay. Good girl. Okay, that'll do. Well done. You can have it. You're a good girl. You can have that toy. You're so clever. You're so clever. Good girl. You can have it. So nice little session there with the puppy. Just getting her to offer behaviour. So my preference is always to do it on objects that I'm not going to use specifically in my training later on. So for in contrast, a target like this would have a distinct behaviour that I would be working on. And that's where I would use my my specific clicker, my YIP or WIN, depending on what reinforcement I used, or my feed in position marker cue. So I could use those if I've got a specific behaviour that I'm teaching. So for example, on platforms, it might be sit on it or get on it, etc., or 2 feet on or back feet on. When I'm working on a specific behaviour, I tend to use an item, and that item almost prompts or conditions, prompts the behaviour. So when I want to put it on cue, it's really easy to incite it happening. Good girl. When I'm free shaping, good girl. When I'm free shaping, I use objects that don't have a inferred or I'm not going to use for a specific behaviour, and I use a box clicker, so that creates a different association. So that means my dogs can be more creative. I'm teaching them to persist when they aren't sure of what I want, so that creates confidence ultimately. If they get a bit frustrated, which you could see she's learning to channel that frustration into thinking rather than just getting angry. And it's also a bit of fun. The things that dogs come up with when they free shape are often really, 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 interesting and clever. So just some ideas there about training your puppies. I love to do free shaping with my dogs. It's super fun. They come up with some really, really interesting stuff that often is dog specific, and which I think brings out their character, and also things that sometimes you might not be able to create in another way. So loads of fun with her. She's absolutely adorable to train. She's super fun to train. So yeah, some ideas for puppy training. Any questions, feel free to ask. I don't know whether there is. Let's have a quick look. Oh yeah, Beryl is coming. Yeah, she's great. I'm really, hang on a second. Really pleased with her. She's a super little pup. I can't sing my praises enough, so let's have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, there's any other questions? So quick little session mid-afternoon with the puppy. Just again building more. Oh, this is a new thing. Let's stick something in your mouth. There we go. So more sessions with the puppy, further enhancing her understanding. Hopefully, sowing those seeds for whatever it is that I intend to do with her later on. And again, it's a great way to create confidence in your dogs. So if you have a dog that's sensitive or dubious about things, you can use a clicker to get them to be confident. If you have a dog that's excuse me, a really high drive, you can teach them to work through frustration. So loads of benefits of doing some shaping with your dogs. But yeah, super fun stuff. Whatever you're doing, enjoy your dogs. Go and have some fun and do some free shaping. See you later all. Good girlie.